Every so often, a show does the unthinkable. It hits mute and delivers an episode with little to no dialogue. And somehow, it always ends up making the story even better. So in this video, we're diving into the unforgettable TV episodes that went quiet, the ones that said everything without saying a word. From horror to comedy, these episodes prove that silence can be just as powerful as any line of dialogue. 77 Sunset Strip, Season 2, Episode 35. Before silent episodes became a bold narrative device, 77 Sunset Strip did it first. Airing in 1960, The Silent Caper was TV's very first episode told entirely without dialogue, a total experiment for the time. In this episode, the suave private eyes of 77 Sunset Boulevard have to recover a key witness in a mob trial. What could have been a gimmick turned out to be a masterclass in visual storytelling. Long before modern shows got experimental, this noir detective series proved you didn't need words to tell a story that crackled with style and tension. The Twilight Zone, Season 2, Episode 15. When it comes to suspense, no one did it like The Twilight Zone. The Invaders features almost no dialogue, just the narrator's opening and closing lines, eerie sound design, and raw emotion. The episode follows a lone woman whose farmhouse is invaded by tiny alien creatures. With no words to rely on, it's all about her physical performance and fight for survival. And in classic Twilight Zone fashion, the ending flips everything on its head. Minimalist, creepy, and brilliantly acted, it's one of the most unforgettable silent hours in TV history. Room 104, Season 1, Episode 6. HBO's Room 104 was always weird and unpredictable, but Voyeurs takes that to another level and does it with barely a single spoken word. The episode tells a story entirely through dance, as the hotel's maid reconnects with her younger self through movement. It's part time travel, part modern dance performance, the kind of thing only Room 104 could pull off. Here, choreography replaces dialogue, becoming the language that carries the story. Haunting, poetic, and quietly devastating, it's a reminder that movement can sometimes say everything. The Bear, Season 3, Episode 1. The Bear is one of the most intense shows on TV, but the Season 3 premiere hit pause on the chaos and delivered nearly 40 minutes of storytelling set only to music. The episode dives deep into Carmy's past, showing his years in fine dining kitchens under renowned chefs. There's barely any dialogue, just the relentless rhythm of knives, sizzling pans, and Carmy's internal world unraveling piece by piece. Without words, we feel the pressure and the suffocating perfectionism that shaped him. It's hypnotic and unsettling, a portrait of obsession told entirely through motion and sound. For a show famous for its noise, The Bear showed how silence can be just as deafening. Inside Number 9, Season 1, Episode 2. Only Inside Number 9 could turn a home invasion into one of TV's funniest silent episodes. A Quiet Night In follows two hapless burglars trying to rob a luxury home without making a sound, a plan that naturally goes completely off the rails. With only a single line of dialogue, every mishap and close call plays out through pitch-perfect slapstick. It's a masterclass in visual comedy, and by the end, it takes a surprisingly dark turn that'll leave your jaw on the floor. This episode is proof that silence isn't golden, it's hysterical. BoJack Horseman, Season 3, Episode 4. In a show built on biting satire, BoJack Horseman pulled off the impossible, a nearly wordless masterpiece. The episode follows BoJack attending an underwater film festival where he can't speak due to his scuba helmet. What starts as a surreal premise becomes one of the most emotional episodes in the series, as BoJack struggles to connect with others. It's funny, poignant, and gorgeously animated, turning silence into both a comedic obstacle and a metaphor for BoJack's loneliness. It's not just one of BoJack's best episodes, it's one of TV's all-time greats. The X-Files, Season 11, Episode 7. If you've ever screamed at your smart devices, then this episode might hit home. This installment finds Mulder and Scully trapped in a tech nightmare after refusing to tip at an automated sushi restaurant. What follows is a nearly wordless descent into AI chaos that explores our inability to communicate with technology on a human level. The minimal dialogue makes every beep and buzz feel ominous, turning creature comforts into modern horror. It's one of X-Files' most brilliant late-era experiments. Evil, Season 2, Episode 7. Leave it to Evil to make a vow of silence absolutely terrifying. In this episode, Kristen, David, and Ben investigate supposed miracles at a monastery, where silence is strictly enforced. S is for Silence quickly turns into an eerie, unsettling hour told almost entirely without dialogue, just the kind of quiet that makes your skin crawl. The lack of sound forces every gesture, glance, and shadow to do the talking, and the result feels like a haunted art film. It's one of Evil's boldest, most atmospheric installments, and it shows how silence can be far scarier than screams. Mr. Robot, Season 4, Episode 5. Mr. Robot always pushed boundaries, but this episode took it to hacker heist brilliance. This entire episode plays out with only 2 spoken lines of dialogue, as Elliot and Darlene infiltrate a heavily guarded server farm. Instead of talking, everything unfolds through text and pure visual storytelling, like a modern-day silent thriller, giving the whole thing a tense, claustrophobic intimacy. The quiet also mirrors the tension between the siblings and the isolation that technology can bring. With only ambient noise and perfect pacing, 405 Method Not Allowed turns a high-tech break-in into a cinematic experience. Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, Episode 6. Among the most powerful and heartbreaking episodes of Dahmer is Silenced, which tells the story of Tony Hughes, a deaf man who briefly found a connection with Jeffrey before becoming one of his victims. The episode uses Tony's deafness to place viewers inside his world, with long stretches of near silence that rely entirely on facial expressions, written notes, and sign language. It's one of the few episodes that steps away from Dahmer's perspective, instead spotlighting Tony and the life that was stolen from him. Haunting, beautifully acted, and utterly devastating, it's a quiet that lingers long after the episode ends. Only Murders in the Building, Season 1, Episode 7. In a similar vein, this fan-favorite episode follows Theo Demas, a deaf character, and tells the story entirely from his silent perspective. The boy from 6B ditches dialogue almost completely, letting sound design and performances do all the heavy lifting. It's a bold move for a comedy mystery known for its sharp banter, but it pays off, turning a normally chatty show into a tense thriller. The episode also deepens both the storytelling and the representation in ways few series manage. And since it went on to win 2 Emmys, it's proof that Only Murders in the Building isn't just funny, it's fearless with its storytelling too. Honorable mentions. Here are a few other shows that dipped their toes into the quiet side of storytelling and made it unforgettable. The sitcom Two Guys and a Girl went full silent movie in its Season 4 episode aptly titled The One Without Dialogue, showing the characters navigating chaos without saying a word. CSI New York pulled off one of the franchise's boldest experiments with Unspoken, where the entire first half unfolds without dialogue, just Green Day songs scoring a political rally gone wrong. The Prisoner's Many Happy Returns opened with an eerie, wordless first half that set the tone for one of the strangest hours in cult TV. And plenty of other shows have used silence for smaller but just as powerful moments, like Legion's hypnotic wordless fight scene in Chapter 7, Master of None's 8-minute silent sequence following a deaf bodega cashier in New York, I Love You, and Frasier's hilarious silent opener of 3 Valentines, where Niles' date prep goes horribly wrong. Each one proves you don't always need dialogue to make unforgettable TV. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 4, Episode 10. Few TV episodes are as iconic as Hush. When a group of demons known as the Gentlemen steal everyone's voices in Sunnydale, Buffy becomes a silent nightmare. For a show famous for its witty dialogue, losing words for the majority of the episode made everything more intense. The episode balances genuine scares with brilliant physical comedy, proving Buffy could deliver chills and laughs even without its trademark quips. It's inventive and downright legendary. The episode didn't just silence the characters, it silenced the critics, earning an Emmy nomination and cementing its place in TV history. Did we miss one of your favorite silent episodes that deserves a spot on the list? Drop it in the comments. And you can find details for all the mentioned episodes there too. Check out TVShowPilot.com for more deep dives into your favorite shows. And don't forget to subscribe to the TV Show Pilot YouTube channel for more videos celebrating TV's boldest moments.